incompetent minibus driver careens into Chinese restaurant. CCTV footage from a restaurant in eastern China, captured around noon on Sunday, June 7th, shows a minibus pulling out of a parking space and crashing into the car behind it twice in a row. Then a bottle drops out of the sliding passenger door. Could the driver have been having a little early afternoon tipple? While overcompensating for the minor fender bender, the minibus charges forward into the side of a crowded restaurant at lunchtime. But this wasn't a drive-thru, and 7 people got injured, including 3 customers that sustained serious bodily harm. Some customers flee from the wreckage, while others help to check on the driver and the injured customers. Local reports say that the driver had borrowed the minibus from a friend, and he claimed that he wasn't used to driving this kind of vehicle. He probably could have used some driving lessons, but instead, he forgot which one was the gas pedal and which one was the brake, and ended up interrupting everyone's lunch break. Shots of the aftermath show police helping an injured man and the restaurant dining room in shambles.
Erection pills made this gigolo's prostate grow. Did you know gigolos can also suffer from career-ending injuries? A gigolo living in southern Taiwan has been hustling for 12 years. He was so popular that for the last 10 years, he had to use erection drugs to keep up with client demand. He spent $15,000 on 100 boxes of drugs over the past few months. He says he can have sex 2 to 3 times a night after taking the pills, occasionally up to 5 times. But lately, urinary incontinence occurred when he tried to pee. His doctor says he doesn't have erectile dysfunction, but all the boner pills have given him prostatic hyperplasia. That's enlarged prostate to you and I.
Drugs his wife so co-worker can rape and knock her up. In China's Anhui province this week, a judge had finally convinced a woman that it would be in her best interest to divorce her jerk of a husband. Mr. and Mrs. He had been happily married for 5 years, yet remained childless. Desperate to have a child, the couple went to a fertility specialist who told them that the husband suffered from a low sperm count and the wife had mild inflammation in her uterus, which could be treated with medication. However, there was nothing doctors could do for Mr. He's low sperm count. Still desperate for a child, Mr. He asked his wife if she would consider having an affair, or at least a few one-night stands in order to get knocked up. Mrs. He refused. So finally, one evening last year, Mr. He drugged his wife's food and invited a male coworker to come over and rape his unconscious wife. Who knew she'd wake up in the middle of the rape? Horrified, violated, and angry, the wife left her husband and went back to her parents' home. Mr. He has been trying in vain to contact her for over a year, initially to apologize and convince her to forgive him, then more recently for a divorce. Now, 1 year after the incident, a judge has finally contacted the wife and convinced her to divorce her scumbag of a husband.
Gunman in Sydney shoots 3, kills 1, turns gun on himself. On March 6th in Sydney, police say a gunman in Ingleburn entered a factory building and opened fire on workers, killing a 43-year-old man and wounding 2 others. Upon searching the building, police found the body of a man believed to be the gunman, with what they say appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The 2 men wounded in the attack received medical attention. One was shot in the shoulder, while the other was shot in the leg. Officials have identified the 33-year-old attacker, but have yet to reveal a name. Another man at the inline signage factory was arrested for interfering with police protocol. Officials are now investigating the incident to uncover a motive, but do not believe the shooting was terrorism-related.
Deputy fires 1 in a billion shot into suspect's gun barrel. A letter from prosecutors revealed the details of an attack on an off-duty Colorado sheriff's deputy in January, which ended with the deputy firing a 1 in a billion shot. 2 men approached off-duty deputy Jose Ramon Marquez in a parking lot on the evening of January 26th, and one of them suddenly pulled a gun on the officer. As Marquez also drew his weapon, the attacker opened fire. Marquez returned fire 4 times, with 1 bullet hitting the suspect's leg. But another bullet did the most unimaginable, implausible thing. It went directly into the barrel of the attacker's gun and hit the cartridge, disabling the weapon. Unfortunately, Deputy Marquez was badly wounded in the shooting after being hit in the intestines, colon, and liver. He's still recovering from his injuries, but when he does, he'll have a pretty awesome story to tell.